Hey everyone, I'm Chesh from Cheshire Plays Games,
I'm Caitlin at Slazary.
and we are from Commander the Gathering, and thanks to Wizards we have this lovely free preview card that you can see right here that we get to preview and have a bit of a chat about. So, I guess we'll just get into it. This is 1 white and 2 colors for Doomed Artisan. This is a creature, human artificer, 1/1, and sculptures you control can't attack or block.
What's a sculpture?
Well, I mean, I guess it's something that you chisel out of stone or some other hard substance. Have we even seen sculptures in Magic before?
No, this is a brand new creature type that we're seeing.
Huh. You know, I haven't been told which deck this is in. So, I don't actually know what is going to be around for this card in this particular commander set. But I'm pretty excited, to be honest.
Yeah.
Anyway, so at the beginning of your end step, create a color sculpture artifact creature token with this creature's power and toughness is each equal to the number of sculptures you control. This is art by VICTOR ADAME MINGUEZ, and the reminder text, that's the wrong
Flavor
word.
text.
Flavor text is...
Remember me not as I am, but as I should have been.
So this is a pretty cool white card, and I think we've got some great ideas. So what I'm thinking is a deck based around probably Arcane Adaptation to make all of your creatures into sculptures. To do that, what I'm thinking is that we look at things like maybe a commander like Kaikar, Wind's Fury, from Magic 2020 or M20. So this is a pretty cool looking commander that I haven't yet actually tried, but I was thinking that we could just make all of our tokens into sculptures, so our sculptures just get really big. It sounds pretty fair, doesn't it? So we could use things like Fling, perhaps, to sacrifice our token. So get a really big token, get lots of sculptures into play, and then fling it at somebody's face is pretty funny. That only takes out one person though, so we want to think of other ways that we can kind of get around that, make them perhaps bigger tokens and better tokens. So I was thinking Infinite Reflection is a good card for that. So Infinite Reflection, we can enchant a creature, and when it enters the battlefield attached to a creature, each other non-token creature you control becomes a copy of that creature. Non-token creatures you control enter the battlefield as a copy of the enchanted creature. So everything that's not a token, we can make into a copy of our sculpture tokens. I was also thinking maybe Mirror Entity. So with Mirror Entity, this is a Changeling. Changelings are pretty fun. You want to read this one out for me?
Yep. It's a 1/1 changeling and has X until end of turn. Creatures you control all have base power and toughness XX and gain all creature types. It turns everything into sculptures, and it kind of overrides the ability of the sculptures and sets their power. So,
but at least we can make them even bigger. So if we've only got one or two, we can make them bigger. I was also thinking Kindred Discovery is another way that we can make all of our creatures into other creature types, basically, to make them all into sculptures. Which
I should point out means that none of our creatures can attack or block.
It's fine. We'll get there. Didn't need that. It's fine.
I was thinking using things like growing ranks, which lets us populate.
And populate is coming back as well, so I imagine that will probably play a role. This quite possibly could be in the populate deck, right?
I'm assuming so, yeah. This just lets us make more sculptures even faster. Blade of Selves and similar things which just go... Yeah, so Blade of Selves lets us, whenever a sculpture attacks, which can't happen while the sculptor is on the field, swing in with one sculpture, get a bunch more of them. So maybe do things like use Flicker Form here, and just, exile our Doomed Artisan just for as long as it takes for us to go to combat. Swing with all my sculptures, and then he comes back in time for the end step.
Yep, that works. I guess one of the other things we could look towards as well is the new supplemental product that's coming out for Brawl. So with Tulane, you can pay 3 and then tap and return target creature you control to its owner's hand.
Ooh.
Yes. So you can return the Artificer back to your hand so that your sculptures can now attack. I mean, you could try and maybe get in like extra infinite. Well, look, it depends on the deck you want to play, but we know that there is decks that can go infinite on their attacks.
Yeah.
So maybe this is one of the things we should be looking at as well as extra turns or just getting in extra attacks via, you know, different cards. That's pretty stock standard with most commander decks. If you really want to, if you really want to, good one. If you really want to try and take somebody out, that was just a weird tech thing I was thinking of because you're also drawing cards as well. So as long as you've got the two things of drawing cards and be able to pop this back in your hand, then maybe you can use those two things to kind of like overwhelm your opponent's board and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What about Chandra's Ignition? So with Chandra's Ignition, this allows you to target a creature you control, and then it deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each other player. Oh, each opponent really, but there are other players, who cares? So basically, if you make a whole bunch of sculptures or copy them, create copies of them, and then just use Chandra's Outrage to just blow up everyone. Just like, you know what, I want out of this game, I want you all dead.
Yeah. Assuming we have enough sculptures, that does good things.
Exactly.
It does kill all our sculptures.
Mm-hmm. Now, we've got multiple ways to make a number of different sculptures, right? So we can assume that there's probably going to be more cards in this set, but if there isn't, we can use things like Stunt Double.
I'm actually assuming that this is the only card that does anything with sculptures in the set.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a very specific card that just, you know, does a very flavorful thing and we'll never see sculptures again. Like Spirit Mirror making the only reflection token for like 15 years.
I would think that if that's going to be the case, then this is going to have to be in the Populate deck.
Yes.
Because it makes tokens. So, as you might be aware with Populate, I was thinking another thing that we could use is probably Spark Double in the deck.
Because of course, just go big and do Rite of Replication.
Which is definitely absolutely 100% also in the repertoire of the deck that we're looking at, of grossness. How about Hangerback Walker? So when Hangerback Walker dies, that you can create a whole bunch of tokens.
Assuming we're back on the Arcane adaptation plan, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're still like creating tokens. You could also maybe use Brutaclad with this, because Brutaclad can make all of your tokens into copies of your sculptures, basically. So like, I just want to make all of my creatures into like sculptures. So
that works really well.
I'm thinking that's another way we can do it as well. I think the last thing we probably could think of is Clone Legion, which is pretty nasty. It's just going to copy my entire board and then Chandra's and just kill everyone. What do you reckon? So what do you think of the card?
I think it's really interesting. I love the flavor. I want to brew around it. The fact that your sculptures can't attack or block while it is in play leads to some really interesting designs. And like, I want to play with this card. I don't know if it's good, but I want to play with this card.
I definitely want to play with it. You know what I'm like? I love janking brews. So if I can jank this into a brew and make the brew jank great, that's what I'm looking to do.
Yep.
I mean, look, it's the fact that it stops your sculptures from attacking while it's in play sounds like the biggest drawback. But considering we've got so many ways to like bounce it back to our hand or destroy our own creature, we can just still hit opponents with those sculptures. It's not going to be hard. The fact
you can also just go, I'm swinging with my 1/1 every turn, you better not block it.
The other thing is that you can actually use this as more of a politics card. Like, you really can.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you want to try and take me out, well, guess what? I've got some really big sculptures now. So, if you kill him, I'm gonna kill your face.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that wraps that up. Thank you very much, Wizards, for the free preview card. I hope everyone's enjoyed this, and I hope that you enjoy the new Commander set, because it's looking really good. I'm pretty excited.
Very excited.
See you later.
Bye-bye.